Well, since I'm in the mood to talk about Halo after my last video, I figured why not make another stereotypical tier maker video, but this time for the Halo games. I love the franchise. My first one was Halo 3, which that's why that one's most special to me, but I've played basically all of them. So, let's go with a rating on all of them on here. Let's start with the RTS games. Halo Wars 1, I enjoy quite a bit. I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to rank these because I don't put them in the same echelon as the FPS games because like I'm not an RTS person, but I only really played them because they're Halo. But they were surprisingly entertaining for what they are. So yeah, as a non-RTS person but a Halo fan, I enjoyed Halo Wars 1, so I think I'm going to have to put it in B. Halo Wars 2, I actually think I enjoy more than Halo Wars 1. I love the Banished and all the new vehicles that they added. But once again, because I'm not an RTS person, I can't quite put it at an A, so I think I will put it also in B. Actually, let's get the easy ones out of the way. Halo 3 has got to go at S tier. I think it's the best Halo game. I know people have a hard time choosing between the three main original Bungie games as their favorite, but I just think 3 is the perfect Halo game. Everything about it so well done. The way it wraps up the original trilogy, the introduction of Forge, theater mode, all the machinimas that came out of it, the story, the multiplayer, the ranking system, just also great. And just killer custom modes with friends, custom games. And this is tough. Halo 1 and 2, I think 3 is just a notch above them, but it's really tough not to put Halo 1 in S. But I think Halo 3 improves on basically everything that Halo 1 had, except for maybe I prefer the bigger open levels on Halo 1, but just the gameplay and uh, like it's just so much less jankier in 3. And the level design, some of the levels in 1 are way too repetitive. So I'm just gonna have to give 3 the edge over 1, even though like if we were going like in terms of this is a list of my favorite games, not in terms of like historical importance. Obviously, Halo 1 would be number 1 for importance because it started the franchise, but that's not this list. And then 2 is also very tough because it's tough to decide between 2 or 3 of which is the best, but I do put 3 above 2. I think I have to put 2 at A as well. It's so close to being S, but I don't think it quite gets there. Oh man, I might change my mind by the end of this video though. Like 2, I think 2 is the longest one. See, I'm already changing my mind. I think I have to put it at S. You know what? I think I have to do it. They're both so excellent. And it really expanded the universe following the first game and teed up the third game very well. It's yeah, it's really tough not putting Halo 1 at S, but I just think that the only thing keeping it in A is some of the elements that are dated, like some of the the controls of the vehicles are wonky and floaty. Some of the repetition, it's just barely below S, like it's right on the line. For Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, I'm just gonna put that in A as well because it's essentially the same game as 1, just looks a little better. Not sure why that's on this list. And let's do these twin stick shooters right away. They're again a different genre of the other games, but I've only played Spartan Assault. Is that what it's called? Yeah, and then not Spartan Strike. I haven't played that, so I mean it's fine. I'll just put it at C. It's a fine time killer. I'm not going to put Spartan Strike up because I haven't played. Also, something that's not on here that I will probably put at A because it's very fun. Just for the pure fun factor. There's no like story really to be had, but at A I would also put, and it's set in the same time frame as Halo 1, but Halo Fireteam Raven, which is the arcade game, I would put that at A. Like it's in arcades, it's actually a ton of fun. I'd recommend if you have an arcade near you, I would highly recommend playing through it. So that would go in A if that was on this list. Halo 4 I'm going to put at B. I think it's underrated. I think, especially after 5, I think it makes 4 look better. But it was 343's first attempt at an original Halo game. Nobody thought we'd get it. 3 had such a perfect ending. Could have ended there. But, I mean, there are some story problems with 4. The gameplay is pretty solid still. But for their first time out, I think they did a pretty good job. Like, the best part about it is they did a better job at characterizing Chief than Bungie ever did. Like Chief feels like a real person now. His relationship with Cortana in this game is the best part about it. Like, I don't like the art style change, but again, they were trying something new with a whole new team. And the music is obviously not even close to being as great as Marty O'Donnell's music. There are some tracks I do enjoy, though. But for their first attempt at Bat, not bad. So I'm definitely above a C, but not an A. So I think it fits perfectly right there. The ending was a little lackluster, but like I wanted an actual boss fight. They remedied that in 5, but I don't think it worked very well. Let's go back to the Bungie ones. I kind of jumped ahead to the 343 games, but I'm not one of those people that is a Bungie purist that hates anything 343 makes. I do think 343 has its ups and downs. They're nowhere close to perfect, but I do think they have done some good things, and I'm still very excited for Infinite. Halo Reach I think is a little bit overrated, or maybe it's rated exactly how it should be. The story I don't think is that great. I don't like. Yeah, they all sacrifice themselves, but that kind of basically that story is kind of like Rogue One, where they all die at the end. That's been done several times, but it was Bungie's last Halo game. They took away some features. Like, I don't think the multiplayer was as good as 3. They got rid of dual wielding. I think it was a step down from 3, if I'm being honest. The only step up for it was visually, and then also the Forge was improved a lot from 3. So the Forge is definitely better. But everything else, I think it did worse than 3. So I think I'm going to have to put it in B as well. If there was a spot between A and B, I'd put it there, because I think it is better than 4, but not quite as good as Halo 1 and 1 Anniversary. Actually, let me get this one out of the way. Master Chief Collection, it has to go to S by default because it has these games in it, 3 and 2. So, and it's got all the games. So, and yeah, it was really bad at launch when it came out in 2014. It was janky, it was buggy, didn't work half the time. And now that they've re-released it and worked on it a lot, added things, they have like seasons in it now. It's out on PC now. It's improved a lot. And the main feature of it was Halo 2 Anniversary, and that alone is worth the price of admission. And of course, post-launch they added Reach and ODST to it, which weren't there at launch. So yeah, that's got to go to S. Even though I don't really see it as a separate game, it's just a collection. So don't know why it's on this list. Yeah, the Halo 2 Anniversary cutscenes alone are incredible. It's something I kind of want Blur to go back and make new cutscenes for Halo 1 and Halo 3, because I think those are the only games now that don't have Blur cutscenes. 2 Anniversary has it. Oh well, Reach. I don't think Reach needs it. They're still pretty good, but that'd be nice to see because all the new ones obviously still use Blur. And then ODST I think is underrated. I think I'm gonna put it an A because I mean it uses the same engine as 3, has the same graphics and everything, but it's a spin-off. But I do think it's just as good as 1 and 2, even the gameplay-wise. If I had to judge it by story, the story is nowhere near as good as 1. But with games, I put gameplay before story, so I have to put it up here. Again, if this was a story-only list, then it would probably be at a B. Because I actually think 4's story is better than ODST. That's probably controversial. I don't know. I have to think about that. Maybe not. But yeah, this isn't a story-based list only. You have to take the game as a whole package. So, as a whole package, it's up here with A. I'm going to leave Spartan Strike off, and then here's the one that's interesting, because there are things I like about Halo 5, but there are a lot of things I do not. The story, in particular, is one I do not. And again, if this was a story list, it would be dead last. If there was an F, I think it would be there. But, to be honest, the gameplay is some of the best, like, most refined Halo gameplay to date. Like, I don't mind sprint in Halo. I know that's blasphemy to some of the OG people. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I do think it should be an armor pickup, though, an armor ability instead of like an inherent ability of the Spartan. I wasn't really a big fan of the ground pound and the shoulder charge and all those other things. I felt like they became Iron Man or Power Rangers more than Spartans. So those I don't like, but the gunplay is excellent. Like, for the gunplay alone, I think it's... If this was a gunplay list, it would probably be hit S, but as a whole package, nowhere near that. There was missing features at launch. Forge was not there at launch. Theater is janky, doesn't work correctly sometimes. I hate the fact that there's no developer-made big team battle maps. They really neglected that mode. All the maps for that are made in Forge. They had a way too big of a focus on competitive in that game. Like that's the only focus they had. There's just not nearly enough maps in it. And then the campaign was kind of short and really disappointing, and very little chief. Didn't look anything like the ads for it. And I mean, that was the last Halo game. They had to do a, so it was 2015. They've had to do a lot of soul searching to figure out what went wrong with that game and where they go next. And Locke, I don't think is interesting whatsoever, so I won't care if he's in the next game. Fireteam Osiris in general sucks, I think, but Blue Team I love. That's another big thing about this game. That the biggest positive is finally introducing Blue Team in a game after being in the books for so long. That's one of my favorite parts about it. I do think some of the designs are kind of weird, but maybe they'll change that. So yeah, things I like, more things I dislike than like though. So it's gotta go at C. It's not quite bad enough to put in D. D is like nearly unplayable to me, and then F is just broken basically. Although I do kind of feel bad putting it next to this game because I do think it's better than this game. You know what? I don't want to have this on the list. I'm just gonna keep these two down here. These are just whatever. These are just time killers that just mindless fun. But yeah, I think this is my list. And kept the two RTS games on there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to budge on any of these. This looks good to me. But we can hope for a B or an A, I think. Hopefully an A, because 4 was a B, and they didn't learn some... They kind of did some things wrong with C. They were trying something new, but so they're still learning, definitely, as a developer. I feel like at this point, after 9 years since Halo 4, I feel like they should have learned some more by now, so... I'm crossing my fingers for Infinite to be good. And I still hope that one day we get a Halo Wars 3, but we'll see. And it's going to be weird. Halo Infinite might be the last Halo game for a very long time if they stick to this supposed 10-year plan. I don't know what that means for the story. Are they going to... It's confusing. Are they just going to add big updates like every couple years it's like, here's a big new chunky 12-hour campaign to add to Infinite that you just download? Like, is that the future of games with campaigns? You just get an annual update. Like, to be honest, I would like that for Call of Duty. You just keep one multiplayer for it that updates, and then have a yearly campaign pack. It's like, here's the new campaign that you download. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. We'll have to see at E3 what they're planning with that. But what do you guys think of my tier list for the Halo series? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Do you think I'm crazy for putting some of these where I did? Is Halo 1 at S tier for you or not? Tell me what your favorite and least favorite Halo games are in the comments. And are you excited for Infinite? Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.